But how many stores need to get it for you to have a chance? Like, you know, it's still, let's say, I don't know, like Joe Fresh Goods, like a bunch of stores got it. Do you have a chance? I mean, doesn't seem like it.
No.
Well, I want the double taps a lot more than Joe's pair. So
Yeah, I get that. Trust me. That's a pair that's topsy, like it's roller coaster ride for like the demand and the want, and it's so polarizing, that collab. It's crazy. W taps though, people seem to be pretty good on it.
See, that's the kind of thing that I like. And this isn't a shot at Justin, but like, because I know you've been a long time New Balance subscriber, but like, so for me, when I think New Balance collabs, like, or even New Balance like releases, especially made in the USA stuff, I think subtle, low key, cool color palettes, right? That aren't like over the top. Because Todd Snyder was never like that. J. Crew collabs were never like that. Concepts was probably the farthest out of the box, and even they're not like that. So when I see something like the Double Taps pair, I'm not like disappointed. I'm not like, oh, I thought there was going to be more color. I thought there was going to be like this bigger, like, multi rainbow 3M, all this stuff. I'm like, it's a cool color. Like, it's a cool gray. Like, I've never seen that kind of gray really used on a New Balance.
Well, it's multi-tonal also. It's not just one shade of gray. So
exactly. It's like this, it's sort of like the CL colorway, and that, like, the CL colorway is very distinct, but it's not like normal gray, right? So I don't know. I like the double taps. I think it's cool. I'm obviously one of those people that likes a tonal shoe, like with a lot of cool tones, and just stays within the same sort of frame of reference of color. But it always disappoints me when people are like, oh man, they could have did more on this New Balance collaboration. I'm like, do you know who New Balance is? Do you know what New Balance collaborations have looked like? Like, this is what they do. This is sort of the wheelhouse, right? Like, you're rarely gonna get like a rainbow colored New Balance, collab.
Yeah, and it's like explaining a joke, like why a joke is funny to somebody. It's like, just it takes a little bit away from it when you have to. It's like, and not everybody gets it. I mean, that's just how it is. Like you said, if you follow New Balance, if you know New Balance, you get why they do what they do. And you also know that they're branching out. So it's not like, you can't have one kind of plainer, more conservative, more low key. No, it's okay. You can have that, because you'll get your wilder Joe Fresh Good stuff too. And you'll have other options. Or GRs aplenty with color in them. Or you can go back years and you can see plenty of rainbow, plenty of colorful stuff. That may not have been hyped, but it's there. It's out there if you want it.
Yeah. I mean, some of my favorite New Balance pairs that actually have really good colorways are the GRs. New Balance is, in my opinion, New Balance's design team is definitely the best, if not one of the best in the industry. So that's just my opinion.
And it's growing, it's expanding. They're getting a lot of college kids with their oh gosh, who's their partnership with? The designs school.
Totally blank. Are they doing something with Pencil or
Pencil? Yes, exactly. It seems like they're every 6 months they're running another one, and they're grabbing talent from that. And
I didn't know that.
Really chomping at the bit to be with New Balance now. I think New Balance is one of the more sought after, partly because of the expanding lifestyle basketball. You got team sports, you got numeric skateboarding with the baseball. And the cool thing is with them, if you do basketball or team sports, they're not just saying you have to stay in that lane. You can actually branch out. You don't have to just do basketball. You can do basketball, baseball, lacrosse, and really go crazy with it. So it's pretty unique.
Yeah, that's the way, because the guy that did the Refined Future pack, right? He started off doing like GRs. I mean, it is a GR, but ultimately, he branched out and got to do like his own thing. So
that guy.
Are you guys both reaching us? Okay.
No,
so
what are you talking about? I would never do that.
Of course, I'm the one left out, because for me personally, it didn't really, I don't know. I guess it didn't really click for me. I mean, I thought it was cool, but I just had other things that I knew were coming that I wanted more. So
So
The gray
that one,
really grew on me.
that one fell for me into the category of if I don't buy it, I probably won't see it. So if I can get it, and then worry about what to do with it later. And hey, I'm keeping it. I mean, that happens. I'm
Yeah.
sure we've all been there. Tell me you've been there. You have to.
Oh
have it.
yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
mm, yeah,
It's a good shoe. I like it. I like the materials on it. It was a lot better than I initially anticipated it would be. I didn't know how good they were gonna make like the phrase and how well it was gonna sort of hold up, but
mm,
they're really cool.
Blue, the popping, just a
Oh.
little bit of color. I wish the outsole would stay like that, but oh well. I mean, that's fine. But the part that impressed me the most is like the collar. Feel how soft that is. That's as soft as it gets.
Yeah.
That takes you back to what they did with like the really expensive like actual 2002. Whether or not they were going for that, I don't know, but I was impressed. Very
The only
impressed.
thing that bothered me about the shoe that I didn't notice from pictures was the tongue. The leather tongue kind of threw me, and because it's not like great quality leather, which is
No,
which is kind of part of the problem. And then because they have like this exposed sort of look, the bottom, like when I wore them the first time, I wore like no show socks. So that is really like
rubbing
really
it.
abrasive. Yeah, it rubs like right on your foot. So it
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 kind of
wasn't.
turned down and there's a rough edge. I could feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my only disappointment because I thought that it was going to be all soft. If that was all soft, or if the tongue wasn't exposed, it would be fine. But that one little
Like,
edge.
that's how they got that effect, I guess. The kind of unfinished, however they want to look at it. Yeah.
Virgil-esque.
Nothing's
oh, all right. It's
perfect.
supposed to
Oh, don't
be.
say that. Don't
It's,
say that.
it's supposed to be shoes falling apart, right? So that's the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still liked Mr. Bembury's pairs more, but that's just me.
It'd be nice if I could get a pair, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, that size 13, man. It's rough.
Ooh,
It-
yeah.
it's definitely rough.
Yeah.
I made up for it this time, but I decided to pay it forward rather than like hold on to a pair and use them for leverage. Of
Yeah.
course, now he announces another pair. Like literally the day that my second pair of these gets delivered to the person that I
I
helped
thought you
out.
didn't like those, David.
What?
I thought you didn't like those. The yurt.
Oh, the yurt is the yurt. It's not a new model. I thought it was gonna be a new.
It
I thought it was gonna
looks
be a
like
new
it's an.
2002R.
Oh, I didn't think it was a 2002R. It looked like something different altogether, but
It looked like the sole is definitely different. I mean, that's the part that
Okay.
gets me.
and the
The part-
tongue is also different compared to the
Yeah.
other ones I've seen. So it's definitely a different model. But
Yeah.
I thought you didn't like it in the photos, David.
No, I thought so. I just saw the box today, and I thought he was teasing another 2002R.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
I don't know if you saw the sequential because he put like the.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was just showing off his collabs.
I think he was showing that. Yeah, they all kind of match or go together.
But not
Yeah,
really.
that's
I don't
what,
think-
that's what would lead me to think that
That's
this
what
is
people.
the
I
same
think that's
shoe.
what people thought, but I don't think they actually do. I think he was
No.
just showing off. But
Yeah. Well, yeah.
because I mean, the water and the canyon, I don't think that really goes. It's not really much of a connection other than nature. But
Well, peace be the journey,
Yeah.
water be the guide, and then yurt.
And it just seamless flow. Yeah, completely.
so the whole thing, you end up getting your journey is guided to the earth. What?
We'll see what he does with that. I mean, he's got to have some kind of plan.
But it
Yeah.
definitely looked like a gray sneaker this time, so should be interesting.
This will be a good test of what kind of power he has as far as his reach. And I mean, the was it the Anta collab he did? That did well. That was hot, but that was, I don't know. That was something. This is just a little too. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me, but I'm just not feeling it. It looks too funky.
So here's my thing. I think every collaborator, everyone that has been working with New Balance now, we will see their staying power if NB1 truly comes back. Because like for me, if I miss on something, I'm not gonna feel as bad because I'm just gonna go back and make an NB1. Like I'm not gonna care. It's not gonna bother me one bit, right? So like I think that's gonna be like the defining thing because the hardcore New Balance people that just want like cool shoes from New Balance that nobody else has are just going to gravitate to NB1, and then everybody else is still going to just sort of perpetuate the collaborate releases, and that's fine by me. I mean, I'd like to chase the collaborations, but at the same time, like it's just ridiculous right now with the releases. Like they're just so impossible. There's just nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice when it was just chasing collabs, but then you got to chase the Refined Future pack, and then all those 990 red tabs, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch, but it's like everything now is just super limited, sought after, the must-have thing, and you can't get anything without just going crazy. I mean, it's too much. So I mean, at least there were collabs and there was the stuff you can get, but now it's like, what's left? 574s? Here's from 10 years ago that are gonna crack that people are dumping. I don't know.
I know.
It's so wild.
And now you just gotta wait for sales on the European store so you can get some UK pairs for cheap.
That reminds me, I got it behind me somewhere, that 1300 or not 1300, the 1500 LIB. I think you posted that link. Got him in. Thank you.
Oh yeah. That was actually a really, really good price. That was a crazy good price.
You know what? If I could find the 577 for around that price, I'd be thrilled. But I was glad.
I thought you got them both.
No, just the 1500. I mean,
they only had the 1500 on sale that time. So
yeah, which I don't think I've even seen the 577 in my size anymore. I might have missed the boat, which whatever, it's fine.
They've been selling out like 577s. They go. Like I'm surprised. Like 1500s used to be the model that like didn't sit, but now 575, 577s are the ones that are like they drop and they're gone. Like, and then the 1500 is there.
They're doing better colors with them. I mean, they used to do like such kind of plain stuff, and there was that toe puff, but I guess ever since the yard pack or around that time when they got a lot sleeker, people know about it. They're doing a much better job with it. So
yeah, I think what was it? They did like the 3 collabs with the 577s.
Yeah, hand and stuff and high stability.
Yeah, those really, ever since then, it's just been like 577s have just been on a run.
You reminded me of my sadness from the Hanon 577. I tried so hard to get those. They're so damn high now in the resale value.
I was thrilled to win it. I've never won another. I got the SNS and the Hanon one back to back. I was like, you gotta be kidding. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, my friend picked up the SNS pair for me from LA.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, the Hanon pair was definitely the one I wanted the most.
Oh yeah.
Probably the best. It was the best one.
Yeah, by far. The certificate, like that was a throwback to the old days. I really appreciated what they did with that certificate of authenticity and the numbered on there, and just how beautiful the shoe was. I mean, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sorry.
Yeah, just don't bring it on any live videos and I'll be okay.
Oh, I'm sure you made up for it somewhere with a raffle winner or and
see I can't get everything, so
can't get them all. Yeah, there's not enough room behind you. You think there is, but there isn't.
Yeah, I have to actually walk around my apartment too, so
right.
It's overrated.
I know the porters in 10 years.
It's overrated, trust me.
Yeah, but it's definitely hoping that I'll be lucky with the double taps. We'll see.
Good luck, man. Yeah, definitely.
Thanks.
You go for 11 or 11 and a half?
No, me? No, I'm a 9.
9.
Oh, geez, I thought you were
Yeah.
way.
No, no, I'm small foot. I'm small
Your
foot.
sample size. You're lucky. Oh my god.
I know.
I,
I know.
I'm Ronnie sample size.
Oh, I mean, sample size is like 9.5.
Yeah,
Close enough. I
yeah,
mean, I'm
yeah.
11.5. I'm not anywhere near. I've had people offer me samples. They'll be like, I got this sample. What size? You look at my feet, and I'm like, you really are asking me what size I am? Come on, you sell shoes. You don't have an idea that I'm nowhere close. What are you doing to me?
Unless it's like a basketball player sample, like don't even.
I have shoot. I got a basketball player sample. I got a couple just because I wanted it. Like that. Like it's not even gonna fit on the screen. I mean, compared to, I mean, it's hard to tell, but it's like Darius Baisley's game worn shoes. Like it's not even close.
Oh wow.
Not even close to the size. But shoot, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get a good pair. So,
What size
yeah, that's
are
a
those?
basketball.
Nice.
What size are those? 14?
14.5. And I know like one guy who's that size who works for New Balance too. It's like, ooh, yeah, you can't have mine, but you know where to look at least. Like, you know, Darius, maybe he'll hook you up. He's an interesting guy where I've heard stories of him going to like New Balance stores. And the first time I saw like one of his PEs like in the wild was he went to a New Balance store in, I think, Oklahoma City, I'm pretty sure. And one of the guys there, he gave the store a left and a right of one of his PEs, signed both of them. I guess the manager took one, the other one's in the store, and it's like, how can I pry those away from you? They're never giving them up.
No, never.
That's one of the things that you know is out there, and you just like it's like I know someone who has it, but I'm never getting anywhere.
Short of that store like closing and having to like liquidate.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Liquidate all assets.
someone will probably take them, and yeah, maybe if they get desperate enough. That's true. I should look at that. That's not a bad idea. I hope they don't. Let me preface it. I hope they don't. But if they do, why shouldn't I have them? That's a good point.
Definitely.
You know, yeah, we don't want to deprive another city in America of a New Balance store. So,
Oh God, yeah. Well, so I've heard different stories, and you know that guy in Santa Monica, David, Josh Abernathy, I think his last name is.
Yep. Yeah.
His store was going through some turmoil where New Balance basically for years, early 2000s, all those guys who own the New Balance stores were licensees. And New Balance, literally, I went to a New Balance meeting, all the managers and all the store owners were New Balance, the representative higher up there was like, you guys know how to run New Balance stores. Like we do shoes, you guys do retail, and we'll leave it like that. Fast forward 10, 15 years later, it's like New Balance wants to control the entire experience. They want to own all the store, they want to push those guys out, whether or not they'll say that. I mean, of course not. They'll never admit that, but yeah, they want basically all those licensees gone because it's a different experience in each licensed store. I get why they want to do it.
I get
More
it
profit
too.
margins, control the experience, control who gets what, but
yeah.
The
Yeah.
problem is like you chase away your loyal customers when you do that, right? Like because I will call Josh or I will call Matt like if I really want something and they have that relationship where they will both reach out, you know, as well as other stores will reach out and say, hey, we're getting these, are you interested? And I'll go yes or no. And I think that type of connection is something that like the corporate model doesn't really recognize, and they don't have like a system to sort of you know maintain that unless it's like influencers or something, and that's, I mean, it's like ridiculous, you know, with that. So
completely. Oh, influencers are the worst. Where I've tried to look, like I know things will get seeded, special packs of whatnot, special things, and I actively try to find who has them, and I can't. I don't even know where to find these things, these people, these influencers. It's
yeah,
they don't tag stuff. They'll put something in a story, and who knows what happens to it. And I purchased things from influencers. They don't appreciate. Oh, I mean, thankfully those influencers get this cool stuff, and I can, you know, let you link up with them. But it's like, damn, you're not supposed to be doing that. Like, where's the appreciation for what you're getting? Some people won't.
I know.
Others are like, Yeah, it's all you, man. Here's what I want for it. Boom. All right.
And I remember the first pack that I really, really liked that they did that I noticed like only influencers really got was the grade A when they did like the bucket
Yep.
with the 997S and the 997.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
what
and
a
thing.
yeah, that was such a cool pack. And I was like, oh, I just want one. Like I want one. And like I couldn't get one. And I'm like, really? I can't get like I'm gonna wear it. I'll post it 100 times. Like I don't care. And then this year they did that box with all the red tags, right? And they only did 3 of them.
Yeah.
There's only 3 of those. Only 3 of those got made. So it's like
That's crazy. I can't believe there's only 3 of those.
really?
Yeah. Who can even see that? I mean, I think
I saw one. We saw one, right?
I thought we saw 2.
Poggy got one. And I don't
Yeah.
know who got the other.
I thought Joe got one.
Really?
I thought I had seen it in Joe's feed, IG feed.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You're probably right, because I know I saw it, and that's probably who I would have seen it from.
I'm surprised that like Ronnie wouldn't get one. Or
No, he did. He did.
I thought he did too, yeah.
really?
Yeah.
So is that the 3? Like Teddy didn't get one?
Well, maybe Teddy
Dion
made his
didn't get
own
one?
pack.
Like how did Dion not get that box?
Teddy made his own pack. That's what he did.
It was like 4th on the list. He almost got one.
You know he's got like some like backdoor pack that nobody knows of because it's just his.
So true. So true.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can imagine the samples and the color. Oh, good time to hit him up, slide into his DM, see what he can get, make happen there.
Yeah, I mean,
Wonder
next
what
year
size
he's
he
gonna
is.
have everything. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he'll have some insane stuff, I'm sure. And then years down the line, he'll probably post it and like, this is what could have been. It's gonna be like, well, why didn't you just make that? Come on.
yeah, my question is gonna be how much like what is he going to send to his to his clothing brand? Like, is he actually going to funnel some of the stuff that he designs at New Balance into his clothing brand? I wonder. Or is he gonna like design things specifically for his clothing brand through New Balance?
He's got to have some kind of, if I don't know if New Balance is smart enough, but they got to have something written out where they have that division or some kind of arrangement. Because if they don't, then it could cause a lot of problems.
Well,
and
yeah.
that's I don't know if New Balance is smart enough. I don't know if they would anticipate things. So
yeah, I'm definitely, even though I'm a bit hesitant, I'm not really. I honestly don't think they need Teddy, but I am definitely generally curious about what's going to happen starting next year. So
yeah, I mean the clothing has needed help for years.
He'll kill the clothing. I know he'll kill the clothing.
That's what they need. They don't need the footwear thing. They seem to be just fine there, and they have more than enough designers and people. But the clothing, the quality, a lot of help.
The problem is, I'm worried it's gonna go the route of Ame and be like super expensive. And
I don't know. I don't think New Balance is gonna let it go too expensive because they know they have they know that they have to reach a certain crowd, and I think they understand the limits that the crowd that they're trying to reach has, and I don't think they're gonna go the way Ame is. So that's just my opinion, though.
But it's the funny thing is it's made in the USA, right? So he's had it made in the USA. So I'm curious if he's touching clothing, is all the clothing now made in the USA, or is the clothing that he does just made in the USA, or is he not responsible for anything that's not produced in the US? Because if it's all made in the USA, that's going to be, it's going to be a significant price hike, especially if it's clothing, because, we all know that made in the USA stuff usually costs a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
The existing t-shirts that are made in USA for New Balance are about $50.
Are they really?
Yeah. Sweatshirts around, I want to say 90 to 100.
Yeah.
But they also have non-made in USA stuff in that price point. I mean, this
Yeah.
stuff, the clothing prices have hiked significantly for New Balance in the past few years.
Yeah, yeah, they
Definitely
have.
going for profit margins. Like they have to hit these profit margins. And I think that they're looking at clothing to kind of boost up. I mean, they're looking at hitting clothing as a certain percentage of sales. I mean, they have
Yeah.
ambitious for their clothing.
Yeah.
Overly ambitious, really. Losing their LFC deal definitely hurt their clothing line because they sold a lot of jerseys, no question. So they
Yeah,
have to be somewhere.
yeah. I'm surprised that they lost that deal. That was like
Yeah, I mean
bread and
Nike
butter for
outmaneuvered
them.
them. Yeah, Nike outmaneuvered. They made a play that I didn't think they would. They threw all that money on the table, and Nike was able to throw out their licensing and or their marketing arms and LeBron and Venus and Serena, all that stuff. They were able to say, yeah, you put out money, but we're putting the same money and we'll raise you our global empire and our reach. And it's like,
Yeah.
nothing you can do.
Doesn't LeBron own a piece of Liverpool?
I think so. I'm not positive, but I think there's some, is it Liverpool or Manchester?
Oh,
I'm not
maybe it is. Maybe it is
I think
Manchester.
it's a football club. Yeah. Yeah. They're all the same to me. So, I mean, I don't know.
He owns part of the Red Sox too.
Yeah, see, well, there you go. Branching out, and that's a big New Balance tie-in. Jeez, are we
Yeah.
foreshadowing a jump for LeBron to?
Please don't.
That would be hilarious. Oh my god.
Oh
Don't
man.
do that.
See, after he
don't.
retires from the NBA, he jumps right into a pair of MBs.
Right? Why not, dude?
I don't think he's gonna do that.
Right.
Justin,
Yeah, I know you like those.
you gotta do it.
Gigabytes.
What do you
Oh,
mean? I have the
They're
up
so
there
good.
pair. What are you talking about?
They're so good. They're literally like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what they did, what they're on this year, but the shadows that they've done this year, the Shadow 6000s that Saucony has done, they're just
Yeah.
they're unbelievable. I mean, I think I bought the last two that I got are just the quality is just insane from even like 9 months ago. It's crazy. The suede is like as thick as like a made in the USA New Balance suede. And it's just I mean it's probably one of the coolest shoes this year. And the price point makes it so I don't know, very like attractive, right? Like $110 and you're getting the same quality as you would with a New Balance. So instead of waiting around for a New Balance to go on sale and hoping that you'll get it in your size, like I don't know. I'm really impressed. I know a couple of things that they're doing coming up the end of the year, which would be cool. I think Trinidad James, his collaboration looks pretty cool. It's a jazz, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, I'm not a bit. I'm not that happy about that model, but
It's the anniversary. You got to do it.
It's just not much. It's not really a model I want. I rather go for one of the Shadow 5,000, 6,000. That's what I like. So
the jazz is essentially their, to me, the jazz is their 574.
Sure.
Yep. And just like the 574, I can usually leave that too. Very rare exceptions, but like, I mean, made in USA being a kind of a big exception there. Like a good made in USA 574, there's something to be said for it. Yes.
Still kind of off limits to me. That's gonna happen. They're gonna bring back NB1. It's gonna be 574s.
Yeah, I'm not paying $160 for made in USA 574. So
No.
that's out. I mean, there's a limit to I mean, but it does. Yeah, the quality and the shape in a made in USA 574 is pretty darn nice.
I haven't had one in hand. I've seen a couple of pictures of them and they look good, but
they're nice. I mean, if you come across one, you shouldn't go out of your way to get one, but if you have an opportunity to see one, for sure. I mean, they're
yeah. I bought the Pride pair. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
forgot
very,
you
very
did.
nice. I love the variety of materials they put on that pair. That was
That
really
was
cool.
that was made in USA.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't realize. Huh.
Yeah, that's why the price point was high.
I think
I
I
didn't.
only have one 574, and it's not really a 574.
Yeah, what you talking about the S? No, that's not an S. That's
Oh, the
that's
AM
that's the
574.
boat shoe.
The skate shoe, I think the AM 574s.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's an AM.
No, they remind me more of like boat shoes. So that's why.
They're really nice. They're really comfortable. And the price point wasn't crazy. I was surprised. Um, I was surprised that they sat because they were like collaboration, you know.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
I
like the
mean,
insole print. I think that's cool.
when the collaboration is with somebody that nobody knows, then those collaborations usually sit. So,
Well, no one knew who Double Taps was when they dropped their first collaboration, right?
I don't know. I have an inkling that there was a decent amount of people who knew what and who Double Taps was before their 992s.
I
Eh,
mean, maybe, but like they did a couple of Reebok collabs before, and they sat, or
Well,
they
I
were
mean, I'm not even talking
relatively.
about the shoes though, but I mean, even just the clothing. I think a good amount of people knew about what kind of company Double Taps was. So,
Yeah, I thought they were more akin to like reigning champ.
Mm, I always think of them more as mm,
A
like
little more
the,
high end.
well, no, they're definitely high end, but they're also like I feel like they're allowed to do like a lot of military kind of stuff, military color tones. And then it's not like exactly military style, but I feel like they like to take a lot of inspiration from military style when they make their collections. At least in the past, that's always the feeling that I got.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they gravitate towards a lot of gray, olives, things like that.
Yeah, yeah, they're very much in that single color but multi-tonal kind of thing. They like to do
Yeah,
that a lot. Yeah.
yeah. That's a good transition into what I wanted to talk about, which is like shops that shops that were really big. Like when I first started getting back into sneakers and getting into runners specifically, there were a lot of like really cool shops that seemed to like drop some stuff that seemed to be really timeless now. Um, and they seem to be gone. Not gone, but they just don't do collaborations and they don't do anything that's seemingly noteworthy. Um, and the biggest shop for me that seems to have fallen off, and maybe it's just not, maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm not paying attention, but Bait, and Eric, I think you're close to their store, right?
Yep.
They did like so many crazy Asics collaborations back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, and arguably to me, they are one of the brands that really sort of has a solidified past with like Asics. And so they're one of the shops that I was thinking of in terms of like where have they been? Like how come we haven't gotten like a cool Asics collab? Like it's weird that the Gel Light 3 is kind of coming back a little bit, and you know they haven't come back to do anything. They didn't do anything for the anniversary. Um, and I know they're still around, and they get like low key like cool stuff.
And they do low key collabs too. Still, like they did that collab with Mizuno.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right. Yeah,
What was that, Deadpool? But it was a horrible color, to be honest.
it
But
All
was. It
pink.
was
It was
so
bad.
bad.
I saw it in person, and the material, the quality was just it was atrocious. It was
that
for
sucks.
$170. It was
Yeah,
really bad.
damn, that
Really
sucks to
bad.
hear
Yeah.
because
And I wanted.
I've seen good things from them, and I've seen good things from Mizuno, but that sucks.
Yeah. Nothing you can do. I mean, Bait is one of those shops that they get kind of crapped on for just pumping out like a ton of collabs as they've done in the past, and a lot of kind of silly stuff. But you look at what they've done with the all the Marvel stuff, all the like the cartoon Astro Boy, Pink Panther. I mean, the list goes on and on from there. Where's Waldo, which was kind of whatever. Masters of the Universe.
Yeah,
And
they
then
had they had that whole DreamWorks, right?
Yeah,
DreamWorks
Shrek.
had a deal with them, right?
Yep, they did a
Yeah.
Shrek. Yeah,
My favorite was Jurassic Park. But
yeah. I'm sure you can go to the shop and still get like the Japanese T-shirts, Jurassic Park logo. If you wanted to. Yeah, those are pretty cool. But like you look at that and it's kind of a joke, kind of silly. Like people don't really take it as seriously as they should. But then you see Kith do Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Rugrats, and you're like, well, that kind of paved the way. Bait kind of paved the way, because I don't remember Kid doing that before Bait did. Like Bait doesn't get the credit for kind of innovating, and now all these other brands here and there do that too, and it's like interesting. So Bait was kind of ahead of its time in its own way.
They really were.
Yeah.
The Hundreds recently did a Jurassic Park collaboration, and it was cool. And I'm like a huge Jurassic Park fan. But I remember seeing the Bait and seeing the Japanese, like, and I was like, oh, that is so cool. Like that to me was like so much cooler. And I was like, man, I would love to have that shirt. And I just, I didn't buy it or anything, but I always was like, man, how come they haven't come back and done anything? They did a wave with Asics, they did a wave with Diodora, and then they kind of slipped off a little bit off the radar. And I guess that was, to me, that was one of the peak storytelling, part of the peak storytelling era where, you got like, because all of their stuff too had like good packaging, especially the Diodora stuff. Like I remember I have the Skeletors from the Diodora pack. And I remember just coming with like tons of laces, and it was pretty cool. And I think it came with like a keychain and stuff too, and like stuff that you don't really get necessarily now, but it was just such a cool collaboration back then, and it was very limited, right? Like people say, oh, this stuff now is limited, but that was like 400 pairs. So I don't know. That was one of the shops that I was thinking of, and I was curious what other shops are like out there that did cool stuff that just suddenly kind of like fell off.
I was just gonna say my number one pick for all this sadness is is West NYC, man.
Oh, they're on my list too.
I wasn't around I wasn't interested in sneakers back when they were actually doing stuff, but I was able to get one of their Sauconys when they did like a small restock, like back in like I think 2016, 2017. And it's like I was really impressed with the details that they had on that pair. I don't remember which, because it's like they're both water.
Freshwater or saltwater?
Yeah, I just don't know which one it was. Like I got the brown pair.
Does it have pink on it?
I got the brown pair.
Yeah, that's freshwater.
Is it okay? Yeah, but it's just the details on it, like the materials, like everything I really liked about it. And then I had seen like photos of like some of the New Balance stuff they had done also, and I was like, wow, they did a lot of really cool stuff. And I'm like, why did they stop? The only thing I could think of is that the creative designer just decided to leave West NYC or something like that. I have no idea, but it's really sad because they did so well back in the past. So
yeah. Oh yeah, the Cabin one,
Cabin Fever.
The Cabin Fever, the 580s.
Yeah,
they had some really nice ones, and yeah, you're right. Damn, that's a shame. Man, now you're making me sad. Like I've gone on the website here and there, and there's nothing even on their website. So you definitely wonder what happens to these shops. Like if you go to their store, is there just nothing there? Out here we have like bows and arrows. It's kind of like that. You just go in and it's like 15 pairs, and you're like, all right, well, that was a waste of time.
Mm.
I mean, they still have releases. They still drop like GRs and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the funny thing has been since Nike has sort of dominated the market, it's just there's no appeal or there's no like demand for the type of product where it takes time and ideas and thoughtfulness to like put out something really cool.
Mhm.
And I think shops would get like a real boost when they did something like that, right? And now it's not. It's so fleeting. Like, you know, Joe Fresh Goods, you think about his collaboration, the outside clothes, and you think about all that he had to do. And the only reason we're still talking about it is because there hasn't been a worldwide release yet,
Yeah,
right?
what happened? What
Because
happened
it's
to
like
his
3
worldwide
weeks
raffle?
apart,
The global raffle never happened.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the only reason we're still talking about it. Because if it all happened in 1 week or one weekend, we
Yeah.
would be on to the next shoe. And so I think for like a shop like West NYC, why spend the time and maybe the money to like put out a collaboration and then you get maybe a little bit of a boost, but then it's not sustained, right? Like it doesn't help you really rake in the cash because everybody's just gonna, run to the next Nike release the week after. So that's my thought. I know that they were asked to do another Saucony collab and they said no. So I don't know what that has to do. I don't know if that was, because I know Saucony had their own like quality control issues for a while, and that was a concern. But it just seems like they had such a storied history with Saucony and with New Balance that it would seem like, oh man, we should bring them back into the fold somehow, and get people re-excited about our brands by bringing back somebody that did something really cool. Um, I do love their early New Balance stuff, and it never pops up in my size. Like the Cabin Fevers. Um, I think they did
They
a
did a
999
530.
too.
They did
What?
a 530.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They did some cool stuff, man, and like it just gets overlooked, or we just forget all about it, right? Like I just forgot all about it, and then I was looking at old Shadow 6000s and I saw like three of theirs and I was like, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I would have bought the salt waters too, but they were sold out of my size when I at that time.
I remember those sitting too. I don't even remember those selling that well. I'm surprised, unless they held them back or something.
I bought a freshwater pair off eBay for under retail,
Mm,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then ended up selling them because I just didn't wear them enough.
mm,
So I mean, if it was now, I will say this, right? I had that pair, so I really like I remember the colorway. It's just like Justin, like you said, it's just a great colorway. But if that colorway could be duplicated on the updates that Saucony did to the 6000 for now, it'd be such a killer shoe, right? It just with the materials that they're putting out now, like it would be vastly better than the original.
yeah.
So it's just
Mm,
it's just sad that they sort of like drifted apart because I think having someone like West NYC put their stamp on the updated Shadow 6000 would be like really really cool.
yeah. Oh, and my favorite detail from those water pairs?
Cork sole.
No. the
Sign sticker in the box.
nope. The NY in Saucony was a blue color to signify New York. So
Oh yeah.
that's the main reason why I've kept those pairs, because I'm a huge, even though I don't live in New York right now, I'm still a huge New Yorker. So anything that respects New York, I'm like, oh man, I gotta keep it. So
Cool. Eric, do you have any shops that
Yeah,
sort of
I
fell
mean
off?
there's some of those shops where it's like the one hit wonders, like the
mm,
Rise New York, where they did that one Saucony Keys pair. They're like, man, and then nothing. So you
Yeah.
always wonder about those. But my biggest one right now, probably Premiere.
Ah, on
Where
my list too.
it's like they're capable of some great stuff with every brand, and then man, it's just crickets from them. It's like I think the last one I remember was a Nike SB. I think I don't even remember what their last drop was. I think I could be wrong, but
It sounds right. It sounds right. I don't.
that tells you right there. You're like, I am like, it sounds right. Maybe I'm pretty sure. But it's like, what the heck? Just radio silence from them.
I feel
And
like, the last ones that I remember are 998s, I think. Like it was like a black and like tan pair or something like that.
yeah, that's, and you'll see those, people are selling those, moving them here and there,
Yeah.
but yeah, they've definitely done stuff after, but yeah, not much. I mean, they were good with Saucony. I think I want to say I remember them doing a Saucony afterwards. I mean, I haven't struggled with that.
Yeah.
Them, and the other one is probably Shoe Gallery that had some potential with like their 580, their Tour 580, that blue one they did with New Balance.
Yeah.
And they did one with Saucony too, really colorful, and the name is escaping. I think it was like Streets of Miami or something. That was great. And then like it's stuff you definitely want to see more. It's like, why isn't anybody working with these brands? And
I know.
And then yeah, there's that other store in Florida. I forgot their name. It slips my mind right now, but they also made a really popular Jelly 3. It was like Soul something. Oh man, I can't remember.
Oh, Soulfly.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Soulfly. Yeah.
They did the Jordan 1 and retired.
It killed them after that.
They're like, no more. Goodbye.
So yeah, it's tough. I mean, these US brands, you wonder, and you'd love to see them build upon like some of the brands we're talking about, like the Premiers and to me at least, Premier, West NYC. It's like they never fully established their legacy, what they could have been. They kind of stopped before they had a chance to really have that catalog that you need to get that recognition. Then you look at the brands overseas, like Offspring, and it's like, man, they did such great work with New Balance and
yeah. I feel like after that anniversary, all of a sudden they just sort of like fell off the map when it came to actually doing good collabs. Like I remember I must have bought like maybe 4 or 5 pairs from that anniversary release they did. Like, what was that, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. Like I got 2 of their Jelly 5s. I got like one of their Sauconys.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I got one more, but I can't remember. But it's like after that year though, I felt like they didn't really do much, and everything, and if they did do anything, it was like really, really low key. Like like nobody really heard about it unless you like lived right next to the shop.
They I think I had an alert set for one of their Gillette 5s on Goat. What was it? Covenant Garden.
Yeah, I was thinking
that theirs.
I thought that was I don't know. Is that
Offspring? I think that's Offspring.
That is Offspring, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I feel like them. Foot Patrol is another one.
They were in my mind too, yeah.
I'm sad I skipped those 5.76s. I'm another pat that I could have bought them, but at the time it was really expensive, and it's just all black except for the N and the tongue stitching, and it was like I was like going back and forth in my mind, is like do I ended up not getting it, and obviously now I regret that. But
they went on sale too, from what I remember. They dropped pretty heavily.
Yeah,
you just had, like those, at least back then, any of those releases, you just had to watch and be patient, and if you were paying attention at the right time, you'd have the chance. I think they hit like sale and then sale. So
yeah, true. Another store that I was hoping I would see more from is St. Alfred. Like they did that really amazing Jelly 3 back during like the 15th anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Lake Shore.
Yeah,
that one. 25th anniversary, sorry. And after that, I think they haven't really done anything else.
No, they did a dunk too.
Oh, did they?
They did those 2 dunk pairs, right? They had one that was like a friends and family, and then one that got a wider release, but it kind of was like that blue pair.
Hmm.
It was kind of like the Lakeshore, but it was just blue. It was I gotta look it up because it was really cool. It was a really cool shoe. We have a ghost in the chat.
Guys,
Hey, James.
don't mind me. I'm literally on set right now, so I got all things in my ears. What's going on?
What's up? We were talking about shops that
That's the haunted house.
Oh boy. Our very own ghost hunter.
I don't do the hunting. I just produce their show.
Record from a safe distance.
Absolutely.
So you're a dunk person, and you have familiarity. What dunk did St. Alfred do?
I'm sorry.
Did
Hold
they
on.
do a
I can barely hear you.
St. Alfred. Didn't they do a dunk recently?
You're cutting out on me. I'm in Virginia, so I'm in the middle of sticks. I can barely hear you.
I'm gonna have to write it in the chat.
Do that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really haven't. I haven't really heard anything from them.
Yeah, they did. I think them. Another one that I really.
I'm sorry. The St. Alfred duck. Is that what you said? They're both. The recent one hasn't dropped yet. It's a gray and pink one that's dropping later this year. I think it's in the next coming week, but not as of recent. Aside from that, man, I'm trying to think of the last time they actually did drop a dunk, but the one that's scheduled for this year hasn't dropped yet. It's gray and pink.
Well, there you go. I thought they had dropped one. I thought they had dropped something recently.
No, not as of recent. Nothing. Not a dunk anyway, or an SB.
Well, maybe it's somebody else, but what are you gonna do?
Maybe you're thinking of Notre.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. You're right.
Same city, different store.
They dropped that tan
high
pair and then the blue pair with the hands
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
coming together.
wrong store, David.
Wrong store.
Wrong
That's how
My bad.
Yeah, that was
Chicago's
they
got
dropped the
too many
highs.
stores.
Two pair of the 2 highs. Yeah, those were dope actually.
They were.
The pricing on them isn't bad right now, resale anyway. I mean, at least it wasn't the last time I checked that they hadn't skyrocketed or anything, which was kind of surprising.
Did they drop the undefeated dunk prices?
Well, yeah. I mean, the last time I looked, at least in my size, they were at least the purple and blue 5 material joints were only like $200.
Oh, that's not bad.
And some sizes, in some sizes they were like 170, which is crazy. I was a little shocked. I don't think that's gonna last. It's gonna be one of those shoes that slowly rises.
Yeah.
So like the grace period right now, where people are trying to decide whether it's cool or not, is lingering, but it'll catch and then it'll go.
They're trying to figure out if they can actually wear it or not.
Yeah, and resell it, which is the question.
Yeah.
So it's in that gray area between hype and resell.
Yeah, James, we were talking about shops that we haven't seen do anything, but that used to do some really cool stuff, like back in the early 2000s. So yeah. I was wondering, do you have any?
Yeah, one of my favorite stores, especially when it comes to dunks, and they haven't done, at least I want to say the last time they did something was 2012, maybe 11, was Brooklyn Projects in LA. That's a store that I really enjoyed their SB collaborations. The last one was they had the Paparazzi, which was an SB high that looked like you could see, if you turn your lights on, you could see the flashes from Paparazzi. But the one prior to that, which was one of my favorites, was the Walk of Fames, which they only had 300 pairs that actually ended up with the Walk of Fame behind it, or the fame on the heel tab, Brooklyn Projects on it, because they ended up getting sued or hit with a cease and desist letter by the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. So they ended up releasing more that didn't have the specific branding on it. But that shoe was fire, and I ended up winning a not a raffle, but what's the term? Christ. A treasure hunt. I found a treasure hunt like 2 a.m. and I got the first spot in line, so it was dope. So it's one of my favorites. And before that, they also had they had a high and another low, so 2 lows and 2 highs. That's the store I wish would come back. Dom's is he's such a big character. The guy who owns it, he's such a big character, and he has so opinionated, and he's really immersed himself in especially like skateboard culture. So I'd love to see Brooklyn Projects come back and do something again.
That's dope. I remember. I think I remember the paparazzi shoe that they did, and that shoe was like, I mean, that was like heyday, you know, probably
Yeah.
right at the height of when dunks were kind of going up, and then, you know, just before they faded out and no one cared, it seemed like.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That was the tail end of the SB hype, and when they died out.
The other shoe that are the other two other shops that I really like are Canadian shops, Livestock, and I don't know if I can count Reigning Champ, but Reigning Champ, I mean, I like their tonal stuff because they do like the gray, blue, and black, and I just love that. And I always thought that they could do more, and it seemed like they kind of just did some of the stuff that Asics did, and that didn't get them anywhere. Like they just did like, you know, some of their running models, and it never really amounted to anything. But I could imagine them doing like a dunk series, right? And doing like a gray, blue, and black dunk, like, and, you know, tonal suede. And to me, I think like something like that would be really cool. Or even doing like New Balances, same thing, right? And they never seemed to branch out, and then they kind of like just died off and stopped doing, you know, footwear collaborations like 2 or 3 years ago. So
Well, Reigning Champ isn't really a traditional store though, right? Isn't it mainly a factory that produces blanks for other companies, and then sometimes it makes its own stuff? I thought Reigning Champ got most of its money from actually making blanks for other brands.
I think they do. I think that is like their main stock and trade. But I know that they had made like a big push to like, you know, really promote their like sportswear and their apparel on their own. So I don't know, like
maybe they tried and in
yeah.
the end decided this is really not the way we want to go and decided to go back to their bread and butter.
I mean, they were really pricey when they first came out. To
Mm.
me, like I thought that their apparel was really pricey.
Yeah.
But that was in the world of then, and like now the prices that they had don't seem too crazy, you know, for like the sweatsuit apparel, you know, which is kind of what they were doing at the time. And I think they've always sort of done, but that wasn't like a big thing back then, like leisure wear. So I don't know if they were just ahead of their time and just kind of peaked and then said, no, we're not going to do this anymore. But that kind of
definitely remember a couple of years ago where you could find their stuff on sale, you know, at the end of the season, and you could find sizes, you could find nice stuff. And now
yeah,
their stuff tends to go pretty quickly. Like people, I guess, caught on to the quality and the cuts, the silhouettes, and it's an easy staple in any lineup. Like if you have clothing, if you have shoes, they're gonna go with everything. I mean, a gray sweatshirt, a black sweatshirt, sure, you only need so many, but you can get one of every color they do, and you're gonna wear it. It's gonna last you, and it's gonna look good. It's gonna feel good. So definitely a fan of theirs, and I wish it was easy to find their stuff cheap like you could, because
I know.
I don't want to pay those prices, but a couple pieces here and there isn't so bad.
Oh, I'd like to see if I guess if I'm gonna be out there, but do you remember when Colors was doing like UBs Ultra Boosts for a while? They did like 2 Ultra Boosts, I think, a couple years back.
Sure.
And they were wild out colors out of Japan. Whoa!
Oh,
The lights went out. I'm in the dark. Do you see what I'm working with? Like, I'm out here
we don't see what you're working with.
I actually have one of the hiking Adidas shoes that Color did, and it's definitely very cool. I forgot the exact name of the model. It's the same one. It's the same model as what Kith released when alongside the Ultra Boost
It's
that
like
they
the
did.
Tarek or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like it, the Aspen collection that Kith did,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they released an Ultra Boost and then like this hiker alongside it.
Yep, I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
so
I
that
bought 'em.
same model, but Color also did a collab
Yeah.
on that model, and I have that one as well. I wear that for the winter when it's cold.
And they did some like they I felt like their designs were always kind of out there, like
Yeah.
bright and heavy. So, you know me, when it comes to bright colorways, like let me have them. So do something other than an Ultra Boost, and that'd be tight.
I mean, Color's main line is crazy, very
Facts.
experimental.
Yeah.
It's they do a lot of really amazing stuff. I really like the places that they like to go to. It's just I can't fit in any of it. So
Because we're not small Japanese people.
yeah, pretty much.
Facts.
But another it's really old school, and sadly they're I don't know if they're gone or if they were taken over by another company or something, but I think the name of the store, because I wasn't around when they were really popping, but is it called Crooks and Castles? Is that
Yeah, Crooks.
Yeah.
Yep, Crooks and Castles.
They
Damn,
made
throwing it
some
back.
amazing New Balances back in the day. Like some of their New Balances is like legendary status. So
They used to have a really cool store on Fairfax, down
Yeah,
by
I heard
Flight
that
Club
too.
in LA.
yeah,
Who
That
they
was a
get
cool
bought
store.
out by? They got a. Did they get? I thought they got bought out by like a rapper or something.
Probably they're not there anymore. At least the store is in. I haven't heard Brooks or Crooks and Castle in damn near 6 years.
I used to be on their mailing list.
Oh really? Wow.
Really?
Stuff from them all the time, but
Oh
like,
damn. Because I thought I see their name once in a while, but it's like a fragment of what they used to be like. They it's like I feel like somebody randomly makes like t-shirts and slaps the name on it and tries to I don't know. It's really weird. But
You know, I'd like to see a collaboration with. I mean, and everybody knows this brand; it's everywhere. But I don't think I've ever done a shoe collaboration. But the hundreds,
hmm,
the hundreds.
they've
As a
done
brand.
stuff
they did
in
a
the
Puma.
past.
They did a Puma
Yeah.
collab.
Yeah, but nobody rocks Pumas. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop playing yourself, Dave. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. He said somebody a Puma. Cool, man. Let's talk about
I'm just saying,
collaboration.
they did a Puma. They did a few. They did a
I
few.
want to see them do something wild with one of the bigger brands, and I sound very obnoxious saying that, but I mean it. I would love to see what they would do with a team like New Balance, who seems to take their collaborations very seriously. You know what I mean? Like something that has some creativity behind it. So especially from what I've been seeing New Balance do as far as collaborating as of the last couple of years, like the guys who own the hundreds are very. I mean, like they're very creative. So as a person who
Yeah.
appreciates that, I would love to see creatives do some creative stuff with a creative brand. So I'd love to see them do something more than just your standard.
They're pretty big.
Graphic tee.
So my thought on them is they're very big, right? So they're so big that I don't know. Like you see the stuff that they do, and it's them collabing with someone else. So they're elevating people, right? So they're not like New Balance, which is New Balance is collaborating with someone to elevate their own brand. The hundreds is kind of like, we're going to collaborate with this person so that we can elevate this artist or this cool person, right? Like, so when I think about like them collaborating with someone, I'm like, well, it seemed like it would be like a 3-way collaboration where they bring in an artist, they do something, and then they bring in like Nike or New Balance or something.
It's almost like they're the facilitator kind of thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I think Justin and I buy a lot of their stuff.
I mean, yeah, they do. Sometimes they do force my wallet out of my pocket. So, like the recent collab they did with Joshua Vibes.
VDs.
Yeah, is it Vibes? VDs?
It's VDs.
Okay,
I think
whatever.
it's VDs.
Whatever, but it was actually I really liked the design. I like what he does with that style, and it actually works really well with the hundreds design aesthetic, in my opinion. So,
And he used to work for them, right?
oh, did he?
Yeah, I think he used to be a part of the brand and then
Hmm.
have to do his own thing.
Yeah, I think he's got his own coffee shop in LA now or something.
Oh, weird.
Like he put all of his artistry and like built out the design for that coffee shop in his motif.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool with the black and white. That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, I'd love to check that out. Another shop that I was thinking of, and I know they do stuff, but none of it seems really like as special as some of their old stuff, is Burn Rubber in Detroit.
Remember? Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, they did a lot of cool stuff with New Balance and had like their own sort of lane with them back in the day. And it seems like I don't know what it is, but it seems like they're just doing stuff with like Reebok now, and it's like I'm not really following that. So
Yeah. Their good stuff was
Yep.
definitely back in probably the late 90s, early 2000s. So.
I might be in the minority here, but I would really like to see or like one of the OG resale shops have a collaboration with a shoe. I'd love to see Riff LA have a collaboration. Guys who have been a part of the culture for a long time that were there before. I mean, there was always a resale shop, but you know what I'm saying, before it became all about money, like the guys who were still involved, that were a part of the culture and invest in the culture and weren't just about money from the beginning, but as when, you know, I used to buy shoes from Riff all the time where they were still affordable and you could, you know, was more of a love of the culture itself as opposed to just making money. But those guys know shoes so well. God, look what Sean Wiseman did with when he got his shot at a collaboration. The one time, the other ones have been terrible after that. But you know what I'm saying? Like I would love to see their perspective on, especially a shop that's been around since 2006. You know, that's a proven OG shop in this space. So I'd love to see what they would do with the shoe.
I'm surprised because I thought they were primed for a collaboration, especially once they opened their new shop. Like they just did that, and like the rollout for that, it seemed like they were just in that space where they could have gotten a collaboration and it would have been like a massive deal. Like I saw, like you think about like Bricks and Woods, right? They got that 5740, and I think everybody on the East Coast was kind of like, who? But I know who Riff is. I know what Riff is. So it's interesting to me that like they didn't take that opportunity to, or no brand was going to take that opportunity to reach out and try to, you know, get something happening with them.
I mean, it's tough for a sneaker company because, you know, as much as they struggle with it, that balance of we want to sell to the people, we don't want to support reselling, and like we're against it, but we're for it because it drives our popular. So they have to be very careful how they embrace that. And I mean, technically, I think companies like Nike and New Balance, like New Balance, if you're a reseller, they won't sell to you. If you go to a New Balance store, they have a policy like we don't sell to resellers. They limit how many pairs you can buy theoretically, though you can, you know, if you're buying some really cheap whatever, they're not going to stop you. But I think Nike's the same, so they have to be very careful about how they treat that.
Right.
So that
but I was more in the context of like collaborating with them on a specific shoe on a limited run. Not that they would necessarily resell, but that would be released to the masses, right? Because to say that like certain resale shops aren't invested heavily in this culture would just be false. You know what I mean? Like these guys have been a part of this world for so long that regardless of the nature of the business, their I guess their status in the culture or in the game itself merits, you know, some sort of recognition from these shops that they work with. Or they may, and I'm not saying give them a shoe run that they could sell at their store for a high price, but I'm saying much like Nike did with Sean Witherspoon of a resale shop, let them participate in a sneaker that's they would release, that Nike would release in collaboration with Riff or, you know, another store that would maybe of that status. But that's more what I was referring to. Guys that have been here for for that period of time. I'm not saying that the retail shop down the street that is literally just about buying and reselling shoes should get a full line of sneakers that they can sell at $8 million. But like a cool shoe that would represent where they come from in their story, because Riff is deeply invested in Little Tokyo in LA. Like they have a big story to tell. So you combine that with their love of sneakers and how long they've been invested in it and the people that they know, like it would make sense to me to see them do something in that world. My leg went out again. Dope.
Oh. No, and you're right. And that's where they would have to probably partner with, an individual versus like Sean. They didn't partner with Round 2, they partnered with Sean.
Right.
So they would have to just pick their partner carefully. But that said, New Balance did partner up with StockX on that 650 IPO. So
Oh,
Facts.
yeah, right.
I mean, anything can happen. How they deem that one acceptable, I don't know. But so I mean, it's all out the window at the end of the day. They have this weird set of rules that they're following, and everything's changing. So anything's fair game at this point.
Yeah, James, you missed it, but I was saying before that, like, I think for a lot of shops, because we were talking about West NYC and Premier and Bait, and how like they haven't done anything like really cool in a long time. But I know you mentioned before that like things move so quick in like the sneaker world that, if you do something really cool, if you take the time to like really tell a story and, get every detail right and put out like a quality product, there's very little return now because it's so short-lived, right? It's like you get your release and then, people are already thinking about whatever's releasing the next day, let alone the next week. We were talking about like Joe Fresh Goods and how like great that is. How that's holding
Sorry,
out
Dave.
for him.
I'm gonna jump off, but I will be back in 20 minutes. I gotta go shoot a scene. They're calling me a walk. I'll be back.
All right.
Excuse me, guys.
Later, Hollywood.
See you, man.
I think a good example of that, like the Joe's Fresh Goods and what Salehi are doing, they're really stretching it out and maximizing the eyeballs that see it. You see that, you contrast it with something like Bape, where Bape dropped, boom, like I think a Saturday morning or something, they released on their website and a couple stores, and I think there was a raffle or two, and then that's it. And who remembers it anymore? Like you don't even see it, it's gone. And that could have been a big release and made a lot more noise for New Balance. New Balance working with Bape, but nothing. And how does that benefit New Balance or Bape in the long term, like you're saying? What's short term? They get a little blip, and then it's everybody's mad that they didn't get it, and then they move on.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think like Joe Fresh Goods and like Salehi, they're both brands unto themselves, right? So like Joe Fresh Goods, his project with New Balance is sort of like the height, right, for him. Like in terms of like appeal and mass marketing, like that's the height for him. So he has to maximize every single moment that he has. Like, but for like you think about someone like Bape, they're gonna sell out everything that they drop for the most part, right? They don't need to maximize anything. Their thing with New Balance is just that. It's like, hey, maybe we'll get a little bump, maybe we won't, but we're still gonna sell everything that we produce, so it doesn't matter. And so like, I look at it like these people are like doing it to raise their profile now. And I was thinking about this earlier today. The thing that bothered me, like the most recent Travis Scott collaboration with like Fragment and Nike, where they did the Jordan High, and I liked it. It was cool. Like I was like, oh, this is a cool colorway. Obviously, the reverse swoosh is his thing on the Jordan 1, blah blah blah. But what's the story? Like, what's the story behind it? Like, what's the colorway about? Like, did they just go pick colors? Like, is this just Fragments colors? They just, oh, this is what we're gonna do. Because I feel like, at least with Joe Fresh Goods, at least with Salehi, I felt like there was some sort of purpose, there's some sort of meaning, there's some kind of thoughtfulness into what they're doing. And that sort of helps sell, and that sort of helps make you feel like invested in the product. and makes it a little bit bigger of a boom, when you go to purchase that or when you're pursuing it. But with things like Travis, where it's like very watered down, you're just buying it because it's Travis. It doesn't feel like there's anything really, really innately special other than it's him, other than it's his name on it and it's Fragment on it, right? Other than that, there's nothing special about it. And that to me is like, well, we've reached a point where it doesn't really matter. It's just about like doing something to raise your profile in that moment and prove that you can do it. It's not really about like creating some sort of special feeling or creating some sort of direction that you want your audience to follow, or creating something where your audience is going to be like, oh, this is the vibe that I want to continue to invest in this creator or this person, right? And so that is what Joe Fresh Goods is doing. That is what Salehi's doing, is they're creating this like feeling, this this innate feeling when you open that box or when you see their project, that you feel continuously, even if you don't get the shoes, and even if you're not able to participate in the immediate release. And so I think that's pretty cool that they're doing that. It sucks that you can't get stuff, but it's very different, I think, than some of the other stuff from Nike.
It is. I mean, you definitely have more of the emotional reaction to the Joe Fresh Goods. You're taken on the journey with him. You experience something different that you won't, with the Nike drop, where it's all right. You hear that tomorrow there's going to be a raffle, and then you're waiting for the raffle, and then you get this crazy adrenaline rush from it. At least I know, like, the raffle's coming up. I got to be ready. You're hyped. You're boom. You're alert. You're right. And then it's, okay, I got it, or I didn't, and then what? And you're left feeling hollow and empty.
Yeah.
I mean, every time all those raffles are over, it's like, now what? Every time you see the Travis Scott and I miss, it's like, oh, that was something. Damn. But you don't care. You cared, like, all right, you feel like you're neglected by a brand maybe, or like, you missed another chance. You don't care. Like, what the heck? This is ridiculous. But then it's like, it's just this hollow feeling versus, the Joe Fresh Goods, you get all in on it, and you can see all the different raffles, and you see the story he's telling, and you see his stories about, this is for my city, and this is the ad I did, and this is why I did it. And it's, maybe it's not for you, it's for me, but like you said, there's a reason for it. And it definitely leaves you with a different feeling. And maybe if you get it, you're like, wow, this is amazing, the emotional high. And if you don't get it, the emotional low you feel is different.
Yeah.
So I'll miss out on a Travis Scott shoe that'll be worth $3,000 and be like, damn, that sucks. It would have been cool to have. But I'll miss out on the Joe Fresh Goods. It's like, oh, it'll ruin my day. It'll make me feel like pretty crappy. So it's definitely different. And it's funny because Nike is usually the one that can get you emotionally when you see their ads and you see what they do, but I guess they don't feel they have to every time.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's funny because like with the Joe Fresh Goods, with the Salehi, as soon as you miss, like, what do? You go and you check to see what the prices are, right, on resale. When I like, I don't think I tried for the Travis Low. I might have tried for the Travis High, but as soon as I missed, I moved on, like, immediately. Like, I'm not, I'm gonna go check resale? Are you kidding me? No, like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not going to be anything that's even remotely reasonable for me to like think about. So like, I think New Balance is doing a good job, and I think there is sort of like this thing that like brands are taking for granted that they used to not, where someone like a West NYC or like a Premier or a Bait used to do like something really special, and it would be sustained, it would feel meaningful, and now we don't get that. At least we don't get that for like Nike, or a lot of Nike products. There are a couple of things that they really do that sort of give you that feeling, like the Magnus Walker dunks. Those are like really cool, and I like the story, and there was like some real cool stuff you had to kind of dig in to kind of get to that, but it wasn't just like this, hey, everyone has this thing that you're not going to get, right? So I think that there is like that there is that advantage of selling people, and maybe not selling them, but just sort of creating some sort of mystique or story or idea or thoughtfulness behind the shoe, and then sort of making that sustained, um, so that people feel invested when they're going to purchase something. Because I think that is what sort of makes me want to hang on. Because if they announce they're going to do an A6 tomorrow, I'm like 50% in, right? Like you're already kind of like, okay, yeah, let's do that. Like I know what you guys are capable of. Like I'm kind of in it for the story. I think for me, like someone like Ronnie or Dion, like that feeling that they make, that is why I'm in, because I know what they're gonna give me, and I'm already half sold. Like they're like, we're gonna do this thing. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm with you, right? And I don't even really know what it is. Like I get a teaser pic, kind of like, okay, let's go. I know
Well,
it's not gonna be just a
like,
release, right?
yeah,
So I
that's
don't know.
true.
I feel like there used to be more stores that did that. There used to be more stores that took the time to like sell you, and not sell, like I said, not sell you, but like create some cool connections. And now it's not like that for a lot of stuff, and that's kind of sad.
And it's funny because you know how, especially with Ronnie, it's like we hate on him for like the majority of the year, and then all of a sudden when he teased an Asics or a New Balance, it's like, oh my god, we're back. We're all in it together again. Oh yeah, here we go, here we go. It's like it's like we know where Ronnie is headed. We sort of accepted, his future path and where he wants to go, but we're still sort of hoping that once in a while he comes back to us and gives us what we want. And the thing is, he does. That's the thing. It's like at least once a year, every year, he comes back and gives us exactly what we want. And it's like, thank you, Ronnie, for giving us something we want. Even though the majority of this year was crap and you did things that we hated, you gave us this one thing, whether it's a New Balance, whether it's Asics, whether it's Adidas. It's like, yes, thank you.
I kind of feel like some of these brands or some of these influencers or their collaborators are just too big to do these stories correctly, like, or to tell anything, right? Um, I'm thinking about like Pharrell. Like Pharrell when he first started with Adidas, right? Like the human races, like
Mm.
those were like really cool. They were really sought after. Each one of them had this like really cool meaning, and you get like some cool sort of storytelling behind it.
They got the different
Now,
languages also. Yeah.
yeah, and now it's kind of like, all right, Pharrell's just putting his name on this new model. Like, you know what I mean? All right, it's cool. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, and I know Pharrell's a thoughtful guy. I know he's like, intuitive and all this stuff. But at the same time, I kind of feel like, are you just phoning it in? Like, are you incapable of giving us like a little 30-second clip talking about it, or doing like some cool montage or something, right? That like sells us and gives us this really like unique product. So I don't know, like I feel like the big brands are just sort of really, really losing their way on how to like connect to people on like a more visceral level.
I mean, did you guys see the short video that Kith dropped for their Wilson project?
I
Uh,
did. I did.
that was, yeah, with the girl learning tennis and growing up with, I assumed it was her father teaching her tennis and becoming like getting better and better and all that. It was actually a pretty good short video. I was impressed, to be honest. It's, even though Ronnie's going in a way I don't really like, he still knows how to tell a good story. That
Like
he's
you
still,
said, once or twice a year or a couple times a year, he'll reset,
yeah.
give you some gems.
Yeah, like I definitely appreciate him, spending the resources to refurbish a tennis court in Queens. I mean, that's cool, you know, giving back to the community and all that. And I mean, that's there for as long as it'll last there. It's not like it's only going to be here for a week and then we're taking it away kind of thing. No, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
Speaking of videos that tell stories, did you guys check out the free lunch video that James Whitner and Social Status put out for
Yeah.
the free lunch SBs? Now that is a good story. I enjoyed that, and the video was quality and well put together. You know what I mean? I love seeing stuff that has like actual cultural significance and that people that are invested in it can relate to, in a story told by the same people who were a part of it. So that was nice to see. As a storyteller myself, I appreciated that completely.
I'm not completely sold on the mid. I'm not completely sold on it.
Same.
The chocolate is The strawberry is okay. The strawberry milk is okay, but we didn't have strawberry milk at my school. It was chocolate. It was chocolate or whole milk.
Exactly.
So, like,
yeah, that's my
that's
choices
it.
too.
That's it.
Yep.
So
I mean,
I
we
can
had
relate
orange
to
juice
strawberry
and
milk.
apple juice too. You know what I'm saying? Whole milk, 2%. You know,
That's right.
chocolate, OJ, and I mean, I didn't have strawberry, but he did. That's cool. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that.
That's next level.
I agree with you. The mid isn't my favorite silhouette by any means. I really wish it would have been a low, but I'm not gonna judge just because I think the story behind it's really cool. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I say that with no semblance of actually thinking I'm gonna get the shoe, because those things are gonna be damn near impossible. But hopefully, I'm gonna try for them.
Yeah, I mean they're dope. I like again he created like a connection for me. So based off of that, I'm like already like half in. And I feel like that is what I need, right? I need somebody to come and make some kind of connection because then I can be in. And I'll feel more invested. Because yeah, that's a shoe I'm not positive. Like I have no sort of sense that I'll get lucky at all during a release. But as soon as I know that I'm not going to get lucky during the release, I'm going to go and check the price on StockX or GOAT, right? I'm going to look. I'm going to just see.
Yeah.
I'm going to see. I'm not going to buy necessarily, but I'm going to look. And James, I was saying like, the Travis Scott, like Jordan, like the difference between something like that and the Joe Fresh Goods is like, if I miss out on Travis Scott, I'm not going to StockX or GOAT. I'm not even going to look. Like, what's the point in me looking at those resale sites to see it? There's no connection that's strong enough for me to look to buy that shoe, and
Right.
the prices aren't reasonable enough. But the Joe Fresh Goods, I'm gonna look. I might not be buying, but at least I'm gonna look. I'm gonna say, hey, is this reasonable? Am I connected to that shoe enough to see if I'll pay 270, 280, right? Like I'm gonna look.
Well, the shoe resonates with you because it has a story, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing I have with most Travis's is that there's really no story behind it. Sure, the 4 might have had something to do with the Houston Oilers from back in the day, but I don't know if that's true. That's not a real thing. It's a fragment Jordan Travis collaboration. That's cool. 3 different brands, but I didn't get a story out of it. Is the shoe cool? Absolutely. I'd love to have it, but the chances that I end up paying, especially for the high, are damn near zero. I'm not going to pay $5,000 for that shoe. It's cool, and I wish I could have it for retail, but aside from that, I really don't have an attachment to it. I'm not the biggest Travis fan. I am not the biggest Fragment fan. I mean, I love the Jordan 1, but the 3 together didn't entice me to be like, oh my God, I have to have it. It's not that big a deal for me. Now I absolutely want the shoe. Yes. If you offered it to me for retail, I'm taking it all the other week and I'm gonna wear it. I may even go for the low, but like a shoe like the Joe Fresh Goods has a story behind it that people can relate to. So I'm gonna always take a second look at it. I'm always gonna wonder if it resonates with me because of the story behind it, then I'm definitely gonna want it more than just a shoe that's branded by 3 different labels.
And ironically, aesthetically, I am more aesthetically attracted to the Travis 1 Jordan High than I am to like James Whitner's Social Status, that mid dunk. Like if
Right.
it's just off of looks, Like I'm gonna go for the Travis Scott High because I know what that is. I like it. Visually, it's amazing. But I have no connection to that shoe, and I don't want it. You know, and if I'm thinking about it, if I'm like in pursuit of it, like there's of either one of them, I want to be sold on it. I want to have some sort of connection because it's going to make me hold the shoe for longer than I normally would, right? If I get a Travis Scott now for retail, I'm selling it. And it looks great, but it's getting sold, right? I'm paying a mortgage for a month. Like that's just what it is. Um, I wouldn't do that. I don't know if I would do that. Like I have some James Whitner stuff. Like I have his friends and family Air Force One, and I'm not selling it because I have a connection to that shoe. Like I feel connected to it because of how it was sold and marketed to me. So like I don't know. Like I think brands need to do more of that. And so I think that is where I I personally wanted to go with this episode, given there are so many cool brands that or stores that were so good at that and that have seemed to just sort of either dried up, closed, or just kind of walked away from collaborations altogether.
I would say that to a degree it's nice and it's relief that it doesn't happen more because I mean there's only so much I can take too. I don't need to get inundated with all these stories and this emotional attachment because then you go crazy. Like I'm relieved when there are these periods where it's like, all right, I don't care about that. I'm not too worried about that. It's not
That's
a big
true.
deal if I get there or not. So I think the brands kind of know they have to back off a little bit. And I don't even know how many years people have talked about collab fatigue and there's too much. So and the brands seem to be reevaluating how they do it. Instead of going with stores, their answer is not to go away from collabs. It's just to change how they do it because that'll seemingly never end. So instead of going with the stores or going with the individuals and seeing that kind of breathe new life into the whole collab market and how it's perceived. So I imagine because we always see trends come back around. Hey, SBs were dead; they're not now. So everything comes back around, goes in that cycle. So I imagine at some point the brands will say, you know what, we want stores again. We need what they deliver to us. We need what they can do on a local level, as well as what can be done nationally. So I imagine it'll come back at some point. It also takes the right person at the brand to drive that, whoever it might be, whatever brand it might be. And it also seems like when one brand starts it, others follow suit. So it just takes
Yeah.
one brand to start it and then go from there. I mean, you see brands like Saucony, it doesn't seem like they're working with individuals. Um, so certain brands are going to stick with what they know and kind of stay in that safe space, while others are able to their credit, kind of branch out and explore and see what's out there, what people are interested in.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's definitely true. I'm hoping that there's a trend on the horizon of going back to stores. I think after everyone's been stuck in the house for like a year and a half, that seems like something that's very appealing, especially to me. I don't know how long it's been since I've been in a sneaker store.
Try working in one. You'll be in, you'll be in one pretty much every day. I mean, geez.
Well, hopefully soon I'll be able to go to a New Balance factory store soon. Hopefully.
They're out there. I've hit up a couple recently. There's some life in them.
Yeah, there's one that's actually pretty close by to where I live. So I've been now that I found it, I've been wanting to go down there. I just gotta get the right time to push myself and go down.
Let me know when you do.
Sure.
Size
No
13, 11 and a half. James with 18
Bingo.
and a half.
Bingo.
Yeah, let's see if they have any gems over there. You
Oh
never
no,
know.
James is 9 and a half too. James is 9 and a half
Yeah,
too.
I'm a 9.5. What's up?
Well, you know,
I could do a 9 though in some sizes if we need to figure something out. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the DMV over here, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's some hidden gems of NBs around here somewhere. So
that's the other thing too. When you talk about will stores come around? Will they have collabs? Like I think there's a lot of uncertainty with stores, and I can cite Bait here locally is one. Why I went in there? Their stock didn't change for a year. Literally, they got nothing for a year in that store. No deliveries, no new shoes, nothing. And that kind of speaks to the uncertainty with some of these stores. Now, maybe it's because Undefeated is getting taken care of in that whole parent company. I don't know, but I think for a lot of stores, they may not want to work on a collab where they're not sure if they're going to be able to sustain it, if they're going to be able to maybe pay the bill for it, if they're going to be able to back it the way it needs to be done with everything going on right now.
Yeah.
So there's so much uncertainty, and then can brands do it? You know, they're already working with individuals, and there are a lot of constraints with everything going on. So maybe they can't even. They're saying we're going to put all our energy there. We can't do the stores as well, even though we might want to. So it's just a very confusing and an uncertain time for the industry.
Well, we will see what develops. My laptop battery is about to die. I
You need a
lost
new
my
laptop battery, I guess.
I
Jeez.
lost my cord, so I don't know where it is.
That's
Still?
not
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, they ordered me a new one at work, but I use a dock. I use a dock when I'm at work, so it just like snaps in,
Okay. Sure.
so it charges that way. So I don't ever really need it other than when I'm home. And since I'm back in that office life, it's not like I can go in the other room and just pop it in. So it's a whole thing.
That's why I have a separate home laptop.
See, I need to get on that. I don't have anything else. But if you guys have any last words or anything you guys want to say, anything you guys are looking forward to?
Dinner.
Yeah, it's still dinner time for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming up on it. Yeah.
For me, it's almost sleep time. So
Right.
you know, gotta wake up early for the work.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, for me, it's just hoping for double taps, and we'll see where things go from there.
Erik, what's on your radar?
I mean, geez, I'm looking to the thing that's coming out in a month that I don't even know about yet. No, I mean, for me, I mean, I'm crazy. NBA season's coming up soon. New Balance Hoops is going to announce some stuff. I look forward to whatever they do because hoops and lifestyle is really closely intertwined. I don't think people realize how much they are. Joe Fresh Goods, a great example. All-Star game weekend. I mean, you know, All-Star game, basketball game. That's where he made a splash. So looking forward to seeing what they do. And I want to see them do darn collabs in their basketball shoes. Why Concepts has not done a New Balance collab with hoops makes no sense to me. I mean, they got the tie-in with the Celtics. They got that. Like, it's a natural fit, but oh well. And then whatever made it, I look forward to seeing what happens with the 990 V3 for sure.
Yeah.
DR, whatever happens there would be, hopefully people can get them, and it's not another 992 situation all over again, but I look forward to seeing what happens there.
I hear that.
Yeah, I'm hoping for more fun V3 colorways. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I hope they can do them because, you know, you talk to people and you just hear like this and that and everything's getting canceled and shifted and adjusted and changed. The 1500 BSG based on the 1300 JPs, I think those were supposed to come out like 2 years ago or at least over a year. Like, it's been a while. So the plans get kind of crazy and who knows what'll happen.
Oh man, James?
I'm looking forward to the Halloween SB joints, the mummies. They're a silly little shoe, but I definitely want them.
Nice.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
forgot.
the Halloween themes, Nike does them really well, so I'm excited for that pair.
Yeah, I forgot we were that close to Halloween. It's like 2 months away. Sheesh.
You haven't seen all the pumpkin spice lattes everywhere? Come on.
Yeah.
No, go to CVS. They'll remind you there. Get your Halloween decorations then.
I'm sure they will. I need Concepts.
I don't know, dude. I got a birthday coming up in a couple of weeks. I got to buy something.
Oh boy, here we go.
I don't know what that something is yet, but I'll do something.
Something good. I need concepts to bring back that 990 V3 they did. That Harvard Yale pack. I need them to send a Yale pack over. I think they need to send me a Harvard Yale.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Just keep on pressuring Dion. You never know what'll happen.
I am. I'm gonna DM him and Joe Grondin like every other day.
Oh gosh.
Gotta make it happen.
Exactly.
I just need they just need to do 100 more pairs. I just need a pair. That's it.
Exactly.
I would be surprised if he wasn't kind of looking into or exploring an option like that. Once he probably got hit up by a bunch of people. So I imagine.
See, he said,
Yeah,
since everybody's hitting me up, he's already
Yeah.
released.
I saw that. Yeah. So I mean, I can only imagine how inundated he got. So I mean, he's probably thinking about something,
They were ahead
especially
of,
if it's.
yeah, they were ahead of their time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Most
that-
definitely. That was I wouldn't be. I wonder if that was the only V3 that got released that year. I'm curious.
Was it 2016? He said 2016.
Yeah, it was 2016.
Yeah, that was probably. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe not because
I think
V4s. When did V4s drop?
those were. I want to say. Oh man, I want to say 2016 because
Yeah.
we had V4. Well, when the New Balance store opened in November of 2016, we had V4. It was like just established already.
Yeah.
So it had to be probably February of that year, I'd guess then.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Jeez. I want to say Boston Marathon V3 was that year, but it could be like older and I'm just totally way off.
Yeah.
It's almost like that pair was like Concepts had gotten the tail end of the V3. That was it.
Could be, yeah. They could have had just extra materials. Let's throw them together. You never know.
Yeah.
It was only 100 pairs, so
That's what I'm
I
saying.
wouldn't
It's
be
like
surprised.
celebrate the end of the V3 goes out in a bang, right? Here we
Yeah.
go. 100 pairs of Concepts. Woo!
I need a pair. I still need a pair.
Oh,
Have
I
you
would
looked?
definitely take a pair if I could get a pair of those right now. Yeah, definitely.
Have you looked since that posted?
Absolutely.
No,
100%.
I haven't because I know there's no way.
There's nothing out there. There's nothing
no
out.
way. It's like not even 100 pairs. So it's like, yeah, nothing. It's not gonna happen. So
You never know. I've come across rare pairs and just been stunned. I mean, if it's on StockX or the corners, the deep dark recesses of eBay, who knows?
yeah. It's
Sometimes
like
people tag things wrong. I mean, it's so funny how these things can get found and discovered.
I mean, I really don't want to go onto Facebook, but it's just
Not
like
doing
make it. It's like these Facebook groups are tempting me to go back onto Facebook.
They're mostly, it can be so tough to find things on those, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hopefully they do something by the end of the year.
Yeah, I need at least one more V3, but I would prefer 2 more V3s before the end of the year. We'll see what happens.
Oh, you're gonna get those. You're gonna get those. I can tell you right now, they're not gonna be. I mean, not collabs. Probably a GR.
Do you see me only getting collabs? No.
I think the red tag version is the only one that I'm gonna probably realistically be able to grab by the end of the year.
Oh, I thought those were coming out next year.
No, it's Q4.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
Q4,
I will
and
definitely be
then-
going for a pair of those.
And
Hopefully,
then
I'll
I
be
think the
lucky enough.
V4. I think the V4 is Q1.
I don't need any V4s. No, thank you. I already
I do.
I already got like 2 or 3 V4s, so I don't need another one. I got the final V4. Why would I need this other one? Please, I got the best one. At least in my opinion. It even says 990 V4 on the area where it just normally says 990. It actually says V4 on it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't have any V4s, so I'm gonna need one.
Well, that's a different story. Yeah. That's another little detail I like about the double taps is that I liked how they moved the USA from the back panel to the side. I thought that was pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
because like where other 990s put 990, they put USA. So I thought it was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I don't think the V2 has 990 there normally. So
No.
except on the tongue, that's the only place where there's a 990 on the V2. So I thought seeing USA in the place where like the V3 to V5 has 990, I was like, oh, that's cool. Nice little detail there. They just shifted.
Definitely a cool detail.
Anyway.
Well, my computer's really gonna die, so I appreciate you guys jumping on.
Sure.
We gotta do it again, obviously.
Always happy to chat.
Cool.
It's of course, you keep on missing me on the topics that I really want to chat on, but
You try to rotate. I'm trying to rotate people.
you got to make sure, because you've already passed me up over on the ALD episode with Teddy. So when you get to the next episode, when you start talking about Teddy being the creative director, once we get to 2022, you got to make sure I'm on that one. So
All right, we'll do that. I'll do that. I'll make sure I put you on the next Teddy conversation.
Exactly. That I need to be on it.
So you can fanboy out.
I can fanboy about the early days. pre ALD hype.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah, have a good night, guys. Take care, man.
Talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.
Till next time.